Rising inequality may in part be occurring because we have solved the economic problem. I want simply to provoke your thinking on that issue, which I think is an important one.
Rather than goods and services, the dynamic theory deals in a new concept called certums. This brings us to our first definition.
A certum can refer to any of the things a human can need or spend time pursuing, both tangible and intangible, regardless the stage of I.
That makes it a non-static concept. It looks at what contributed or will contribute to human life over all past, present and future stages of I, instead of only the current one. Certums create a new domain for economics, if you will. A domain that is, as you heard, spread over multiple states, but is also completely exhaustive, which means all needs are included, and it is from this foundation that second-tier economics must be built. Given a certum's attributes at a constant point in time, we classify it into one of three states, and you'll see how useful this is in the other videos. Certums currently in state 1 includes goods and services of both private and public origin supplied by charging a specific price per unit, like tolled roads, cars sold by dealers and stuff we buy in shops. Certums currently in state 2 includes things available to us without a direct price per unit. Some of these are made available by business or government, but most are made available autonomously by nature or by ourselves. Certums in state 0, while it would include GPS on your mobile phone before it became available in 2005, or canned food before it became available in 18 whatever. So it's basically things that are not available yet, and also things that are not available anymore, like a steamboat. This includes an infinite amount of stuff that is currently not even comprehended, but also includes some which are being researched, some which are only hypothesized, and of course some which are out of use. Along the development of I, we see a flow of certums between autonomous processes and market processes. The old classification of resources into categories of natural origin or man-made origin worked well in explaining economic phenomena in the first tier, but it's useless in analyzing economics as a dynamic interaction, and we can't continue with merely a theory of the origin of goods and services, because we're not only dealing with goods and services, today we're dealing with certums that moves between states. Platforms gives us a theory of the origin of certums. The features of platforms determine how the certums that they supply are distributed and if single consumers can be excluded through pricing. Features can be altered through innovation. The concept of platforms is useful in looking at what is supplied by institutions and what is supplied autonomously, which is getting important in second-tier economics. We can now properly define platforms.
A platform is a tangible or intangible base from which a certum of any given state is made available or supplied. Changing needs for certums results from moving to a higher level of I. This is how platforms and their features develop.
I also want to present what I think should be the proper definition of needs. I think economics needs definitions which are less theoretical and more precise so that actual measurements can take place.
Needs determine satisfaction gained from having different amounts of the thing or certum needed.
This means that needs will determine the respective amounts of time and effort we spend on different activities, since by definition, everything you need or spend time on is a certum. Any activity is focused at fulfilling a need for certums. We've got consumption needs and achievement needs. I'll measure both with calculus by reevaluating needs as a flow per time. It's different from our first-tier economics treated needs as an infinite stock of unlimited desires and that people always wanted more. That's nonsense, at least from a second-tier individual's perspective. A specific need is satiable per time period. Needs are not unlimited, and that's what I'll show you in the third series. So, NI equals 7 would then be the set of needs resulting from today's corporate era consciousness, the need for smartphones and the need to vote. See, we include the need for both tangibles and intangibles, certums. PI equals 7 would then be the set of platforms like tangible factories supplying the manufactured goods and intangible institutions like democracy. then definitions of economics shouldn't be limited by only focusing on the given perception of its time. So we have to show I is equal to everything from 1 up to infinity, to include all perspectives that could impact our needs and platforms. Otherwise, we'll make mistakes like Malthus did in the 1900s. He predicted that there won't be enough people to work the land and to feed the growing population in the future. Luckily, he was wrong. Today, a smaller percentage of us are actually required to work on farms. So unlike these expressions, or even say Ni equals 24 and Pi equals 24, which represents the set of needs and platforms visible at a constant point in our development, this expression represents all sets of needs one can possibly have along all stages of development, and this expression represents the supply of all sets of certums along the stages in our development. Now, to clean things up a bit, we can write this one as a capital letter N and this one as a capital letter P. There you have it, a simple equation that results in complex economic phenomena observable in our world. An equation revealing itself to us through the ages. Time and experience will add some theories, others will be dropped, and so we learn more about what economics E really is.
Old paradigms don't hold true anymore. When we call it an economic crisis, we think that it's a crisis of an economic life, but it is not. It is rather a crisis of economic thinking.